All right. So thank you everybody who is joining us and taking part of your evening on a Sunday this close to Christmas. I really appreciate you taking this time. And hopefully it's because you're excited about what's to come. And we have big, exciting things, not only with the holidays, but with what's going on with this H2 movement. I'm going to move my camera here a little bit to show you guys. I'm wearing the official Healthy and Happy H2 t-shirt, which you will all have an option to get. Chad's wearing the men's version. He would like to show you. So we are sporting the gear here in our kitchen. So I thought the kitchen is a pretty appropriate place to do this from, since this is a lot of our program revolves around the kitchen scenario. So for those of you who don't know me, I'll just introduce myself super brief so you have a sense of why I'm even sharing this. So my name is Stephanie Calhoun, and I happen to be an Arbonne independent consultant, regional vice president in qualification, which we're all really excited about on our team. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, that's okay. It just means there's a lot of excitement happening in our own business and in this company, which is really cool. And this program is a huge reason why. So I first got introduced to the concept, I'm just gonna mute it. I first got introduced to the concept of nutrition, really, as a thing to be interested in. Hang on, guys, I'm really sorry here. I'm trying to mute a few lines. Okay, so I was first introduced to the concept of nutrition actually at a really young age, actually 6 or 7 years old. I realized this just the other day. It was my introduction to having a curiosity around nutrition and what it did to our bodies. And this is because I was exposed to a situation where my mom was hospitalized with a big migraine, like big time migraine. So if any of you have suffered from migraines in your life, you know how terrible that can be. So imagine it being bad enough to be popped into the hospital and on IV meds for that. So what that taught me at that time is that food can affect us in very unique ways. So not everybody has reactions to foods, right? Some of you on here might be sensitive to certain things like dairy or gluten, or you know how you feel, like my mom, if you have a glass of red wine. And that was the case with her. We had an Italian dinner and she happened to have a glass of red wine and she had an allergic reaction to it, which gave her severe pain and put her in the hospital. So my curiosity got piqued from a young age around, well, what do you mean? If everybody else can have a glass of red wine and she gets sick when she has it, that set up this very curious intrigue in me. Very shortly thereafter, still at a young age, I ended up having, I wouldn't say contracting, this is not a virus, but I got an autoimmune condition. So that, again, led me to understand that everybody reacts differently to different things, and everybody needs different things to help them be healthy and well. So fast forward through my life journey and curiosity around food, nutrition, exercise, health, wellness, and all things in those realms, I ended up becoming a registered massage therapist, and then after that became an Ayurvedic practitioner. And if you've never heard of Ayurveda, it's an ancient Indian medical tradition that is, from what we know, the oldest known medical system on earth. And what it teaches us, the whole philosophy of it, is that diet and lifestyle are medicine. So if they're medicine, they can also be poison. Just like red wine can be medicinal and have great benefits for overall heart health, but for my mom, it was a treacherous thing and not something to be messed with. So food can be medicine and it can be poison. Things in our lifestyle can be medicinal or therapeutic, and they can also be poisonous. We can over or underdo, if that's a word, anything, okay? So what I wanted to share with you guys is a bit of a sense around what is this H2 movement, what does it have to do with what I've just mentioned, and why might you be interested in it? So we have within Arbonne a fantastic product line, which you may have already heard of, which is our nutrition line. So you may have done or heard of our program, which is called 30 Days of Healthy Living. And what we've done now is taken it and amped it up beyond anything that you've ever seen within this program in any groups. So if you've ever taken part in these programs before, feel free to chime in. If you've been on Zoom before, you can go into the little chat comment at the box at the bottom. Feel free to put a comment in around what your experience has been with 30 days. If you've ever taken part, what was your big takeaway or your aha experience in that? It's useful for people to see that. So I'm just going to share from my perspective what's going on. So I'm going to start with the title of it, which is H2 Healthy and Happy. Why that? Why is that the title? So these two go hand in hand. Health and happiness run together. So something that I've ended up studying in my years of research around this is the link between our gut and our brain. Okay, so if you don't understand this at all, that's okay. I'm not going to give a ton of sciencey information, but just know and understand that we now know in this current modern day that gut health and brain health, in other words, mental health, go hand in hand. They're linked together. Now, that is not to say that someone who has depression doesn't have valid reasons for having depression in their life or anxiety. However, what we do know, despite those parameters, we can trace back implications to the gut in every possible mental illness, as well as every physical illness. So it doesn't matter what we have going on in our bodies, we will end up having the body compensate for issues that we're having to the point of it finally having to kind of give in, is how I look at it. You know, your body will tolerate things for so long, and then it finally says, I'm done, I can't do it anymore, I can't adapt, and it shows us these signs and symptoms. And those are states of what we call dis-ease or imbalance, and dis-ease means disease. So we start ending up with symptoms showing us little things, which if they're left to just be little things, they might stay little things for a while. Eventually they end up becoming bigger things that we can't ignore. So some of those things might be irritable bowel syndrome, chronic headaches or migraines, joint pain, irregular periods or menopausal symptoms, low energy, brain fog, chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, et cetera, okay? So the common things people are dealing with. So if we can look at making a shift to add an overall repair or an improvement to our gut health, then what's fascinating to me is we can then see direct correlations with people's mental health improving. So what you might not understand is that the gut is talking to your brain all day long. And when it's talking to it, it's telling it we're inflamed, we're annoyed, we're irritated, we're being triggered by foods, we're being triggered by pathogens in the air, and the brain will respond and tell our nervous system and our endocrine system, meaning your immunity and your hormones, what to do. So your gut tells your brain what your body needs to protect itself, and then the brain dictates what the body needs to do to give us outward signs. The problem is we're not given an owner's manual when we're born, so we don't know what these signs and symptoms are and what they mean. So we're just kind of floundering around trying to figure out what we're supposed to do in life to feel well and do our best, and then we're at the mercy of advertising. And you could argue that, you know, we're also trying to show you advertising. But what I can tell you is we have a phenomenal product line that is backed with amazing research. And if you've been invited on this call, it's because someone cares about you and they want the very best for you. Whether it's they've heard you talk about particular goals or particular struggles that you've had, or maybe you're on here because you yourself have a challenge that you're dealing with and you don't quite know what direction to go in, but you heard somewhere that this might be a good route to try. So my favorite thing about the program itself is that it kind of teaches us how to have an owner's manual. And it teaches us how to understand how to be mindful of ourselves. So mindful of how our bodies respond to foods, like my mom. Mindful of how our bodies respond to exercise or lack thereof. How does our body respond to sleep or stimulation to our nervous system or stress in general? How do we adapt to these things, and what can we do to improve that circumstance? Okay, so in H2, this team that we have coming together is phenomenal. Okay, so I'm going to start with the team to give you a little sense of it. I'm not going to give you the giant rundown, but just a brief little intro to who is taking part in this program. So when you join us in the H2 movement, you're going to have not only the consultant, the friend of yours who invited you on this, being your own personal coach and contact throughout the program, but we're going to have our program moderator who's going to oversee the whole program in our Facebook group. And then you're going to have access to 5 different professionals offering their own massive contribution for absolutely free, which is crazy because you don't find this anywhere. Like if you were to go out, I was figuring it out, it has to be at least over $1,200 in free product and service that you're going to get in this program, which blows my mind. So who's in the program? There's me. So again, what am I doing? Well, I'm going to be popping in from time to time to offer you perspectives from the Ayurvedic lens. So talking about things like how do we change our diet based on the season of the year. And we're coming into a very interesting time in the year where early winter leads into late winter, and there's going to be some transition things happening. How do we eat based on the seasons of the day? So different times of day. When is digestion really good and when is it kind of cruddy? So when can we maximize healthy digestion? So things of that nature, as well as how does our exercise impact us? Then I'll be offering a guided meditation, which will be live within the group. You can join live and then again anytime you want. And we'll also be offering some yoga practices. So you're gonna have a well-rounded approach just from me, okay? Then we're gonna have Liz McDonald. If you don't know who Liz is, maybe you've heard of a man named Robin Sharma. So Robin Sharma has written several books, including The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, A Leader Without a Title, and the 5 a.m. Club. And he is a leadership expert. And if you think, well, I don't run a big corporation, I don't need leadership. Everybody's a leader in life. That's the whole point of Leader Without a Title. Okay? Everybody has a leadership role, whether it's within your community, your family, your office, or your sports team, or your community of friends. So Liz is trained under Robin Sharma directly to be a program facilitator of his work, which is incredible. So she's going to be offering mindset and leadership expertise, skills and practical work that you can do for yourself to move your whole life forward and just launch it on a massive path in 2020. Okay, so that's two. The third is Hillary Labar. Hillary is an amazing holistic nutritionist. She has a nutrition coaching business. She's been doing this for a number of years. She's a wizard with incredible recipes and a wealth of knowledge. So she's going to be offering a ton of information to everybody in the group around nutrition, how to adapt specific recipes to make them fit what our program requirements, so to speak, are, and what the parameters are, and helping navigate typical challenges that people have with nutrition, food, what do I eat when, the typical questions, okay? Then we have Chris McPhee. So Chris is a personal trainer with 33 years of experience, and he's trained everybody from stay-at-home moms to elite level athletes and athletic kids. He has a ton of information to offer. He's going to be doing something really cool. He's actually going to be taking a couple of his clients and taking them through workouts with us, able to access this information live and work out with them one-on-one. And this will be recorded and for us to be able to use later. He'll have great workout tips and suggestions, which you don't need any equipment for. You don't have to be in a gym, but you could adapt it to the gym. So wicked opportunity to up-level your overall physical fitness and health with Chris offering those guidelines for us. And then the fifth is pretty cool, and I'm really excited to hear exactly how this is going to go down. Sue, what is Sue's last name here? I don't have her last name. I want to say it's Hopper. I'm not really sure. Anyway, Sue has a business called Eden Energy Medicine. So she's going to be offering some various healing energy modalities and presentations and practical applications for us, as well as I believe some work around goal setting and figuring out how to shift our energy to achieve the goals that we have. So I'm telling you, all of these spectrums coming together in one program, if that isn't enough, which is crazy, then you still have the daily one-on-one guidance by our main coach in the program who's going to be moderating the group. So there's a ton of resource and information coming at us that we can just take in, absorb, and digest on a level as we choose when we check in with the group page and engage with each other and find the information we're looking for when we need it most, okay? So there's all of that in our package. Then what is this package? Because on top of that, we have our amazing nutritional products. And there's something I want to tell you guys about the product line that really astounded me. So in the last year, I guess it was, my partner Chad and I, who you saw for a moment, we both did an extra training course. We both took it in nutrition coaching. Specifically, it was around sports nutrition coaching. So when we took this, I was actually a little bit nervous because I thought, is this program going to try to tell me something that doesn't jive with my current beliefs and education in Ayurveda? Is it going to tell me something that's going to make me feel like our 30-day program isn't jiving with it as well? And all I got from this program was 100% validation. It just firmed up for me absolutely everything that is astounding and amazing, not only about Ayurveda, but about Arbonne's 30-day program. And I want to explain to you guys why, okay? So if you imagine, again, think of sports nutrition. A lot of it, and this applies to everybody, but the main framework of this course was around sports nutrition. and was talking about, okay, if we have a weekend warrior, someone who goes to the gym a few times a week versus a college level athlete or an elite level athlete, you think about the demand they're putting on their body, they're going to have some pretty significant energy requirements. They're going to have specific nutritional needs. So if we go to the extreme, I love extreme examples. So if we go to the extreme of Lance Armstrong, probably everybody on this call knows who Lance Armstrong is, right? So you can't be a champion Tour de France winner more than once and have people not know who you are. So this guy has a team of doctors and experts and dietitians and everything supporting him. So 100% of his life is dialed in by. So pretty good odds that if he needs something, the experts are going to tailor anything he needs to make sure he's not missing something, right? So here's the thing. Even elite level athletes need supplementation. Even elite level athletes who are taking in tons and tons of amazing meals prepared by professional chefs, even they need supplementation. And you know why? Because our bodies are different. So one side of the coin is our bodies absorb foods very differently. So person to person, we will take on what we're eating differently than the person next to us. The other side of the coin is everybody adapts to our exercise and our body stress differently. So what we need to replenish that is going to be different person to person. So you'd be hard pressed to find a person who gets absolutely every nutritional need met by their daily meals. So if you compare yourself with kindness to someone like Lance Armstrong, someone who's got everybody tailoring everything to meet his needs, how do you measure up? Because I know I'm not getting all the requirements that I need. Sometimes I don't get enough water in the day. Sometimes I'm not taking my vitamins. Sometimes I miss servings of vegetables. And sometimes I'm on the road. I don't have people preparing everything for me. So I do the best I can. I do pretty good. But it's still not ideal. And I still have factors going on that my body is not going to necessarily absorb everything I need. So if we compare ourselves to that, if the pros are needing supplementation, then probably we are too, okay? So the big takeaways that really resonated with me about our 30-day program were in the areas of what my nutrition coach training taught me around what is it that everybody actually needs? Where is the average person lacking? And the idea of supplementation is to support your system where you're lacking. I love that the beginning of supplement is SUPP and support, the beginning is SUPP. They go hand in hand because supplements are intended to be there to support where our body is lacking or where our daily nutrition is lacking and help amp us up to have exactly what we need so we can thrive, so we can be healthy and happy, okay? So here's the rundown of what every person needs because everyone's essentially lacking. One is a powdered green supplement. Why? Because if you go buy, say, a fist-sized serving, so look at your own fist, get a sense of how big that is. Do you honestly, every single day of your life, get a minimum of 5 fist-sized servings of veggies every day? Probably not. Probably not. And are they varied? So every day, are you getting different ones? This is a cool thing I saw on or listened to on a podcast that said to have the healthiest microbiome possible, we actually need a diversity of over 30 different plants every single week. 30 different plants every week. So you've got a variety of bacteria and enzymes coming into your system to have the healthiest microbiome. And that microbiome determines our mental state. So number one, if you're feeling like your mental state could use some support, what do you have control over 100%? Increasing your vegetable consumption is a good place to start, okay? So if it's tough for you to get between 5 and 9 optimally servings of vegetables a day, you're struggling to get 5, you're probably not getting 9. We won't judge you for that. You can just add in our greens balance. So this particular product here is included in our 30-day program. It's 36 different fruits and vegetables in a powdered format. 1 scoop is 1 full serving of fruits and vegetables. So I start my day with this combined with another fabulous product that we have that starts my day off and gets me beginning the day with a plant source immediately in my system, already getting 36 different varieties in 1 scoop, okay? So that's item number 1 that we're lacking in. Item number 2 is probiotics. So probiotics are the bacteria that live in our gut, which are crucial to keep your gut health happy and keep it thriving and functioning well. That's how we interpret whether we're stressed or not, whether we're stressed from the environment, our thoughts, our experiences, our interactions with people, or the foods that we're eating. So having the healthy gut, we want good microbiomes. So we want those probiotics. We also want prebiotics, which are food for the probiotics. So if we're going to have bacteria in there, we want to feed them so that they stay healthy and they stay replicating themselves and keep a thriving environment in there, right? Then what else people need is digestive enzymes, because most people, on average, are, and feel free to chat or raise a hand if I can see you, if you've struggled with things like maybe your bowel movements have been off in the past, maybe you got a flu or a cold this winter, maybe you have a tendency to get colds or flus, maybe you tend to have chronic soreness or pain. All these factors are coming back to the gut. And if we are struggling with any of these, it's not necessarily food's fault, right? Oats aren't bad, but why do some people struggle with oats? Going back to that idea of my mom and the red wine. It's not the wine's fault, it's her system's fault, because her system is weak. And in Ayurveda, we say that's weak Agni, or weak digestive fire. So if you can't process and break down foods, there's likely a weakness in your system. And digestive enzymes put the fire back into your system and get it cooking and working through the foods that we're taking in. So prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes, they're all in one package here in what we call Digestion Plus, all three of them. So the first 4 things that most people are missing in their daily diet are right there in 2 simple products. And what we do in the program is combine a scoop of this with a packet of this and about a half a cup of water. We call it a green shot. You drink that down first thing in the morning. You've supported your gut as soon as you get up, first thing in the day. You've increased the alkalinity in your system with all the greens, fruits and veggies. So we're taking ourselves out of a high acid state and supporting ourselves. So right away, you're already ahead compared to where you were the week before, or say around Christmas dinner, you know, because that's going to just leave most of us feeling a little bit icky. So those were the first things. Next, where everybody is lacking is B12. There's nearly 50% of the population that is lacking. In research, what we found is lacking in B12. So this is an essential vitamin that we need, and it's going to help us keep our energy up and level and our mind clear. So there's that. I'll come back to that in a second. Another is antioxidant support. We all know we need antioxidant support to help with free radicals in the body, to help us with our prevention of illness and disease, and of course, cancer, okay? So probably one of the most powerful antioxidants we know of is green tea. So if we're going to take a really amazing combination of B12 and the antioxidant support of green tea, you can find those in what we call fizz sticks. And if you have ever heard of Arbonne in your life, you've probably heard of fizz, because everybody loves these because of what it does for us. We feel amazing. You get great energy. You get that mental clarity. We have this first thing in the morning and combine it with our herbal tea, okay? These two together, this is your coffee replacer. You don't need coffee when you have this. You've got something that's going to pick your energy up, keep you even, not have a big crash, and be good for you, be providing you actual nutritional support. When I was in Ayurveda school and studying herbology, if I could have taken everything I knew about what would be the best thing to support our body's ability to detoxify, that's a bit of a loaded word for some people, but think of your body's ability to clean its own house, then you want the liver to be able to do its job. So I call our herbal tea liver support tea. Because if I could design an Ayurvedic tea to support the liver, it would have everything that this tea has. It's fantastic. So having this on a daily basis, combine it with the fizz, you've got your warm mug in the morning to replace the coffee, which again is highly acidic. And now we have components in here to continue to alkalize the body, okay? Something you might be wondering is, why do I care about alkalinity and acidity so much? Acidity is the #1 thing that's going to increase inflammation, irritation, a triggered gut, symptoms of insomnia, back pain, joint pain, bowel irregularity. Too much acid in the system creates inflammation. How much is too much for you? I don't know. It's going back to that individual level again. But here's the analogy I used with the acidity factor. Again, acid isn't bad. Hyperacidity is potentially bad. So the average, what we call standard American diet, okay, the typical diet that people are consuming is going to be heavily acidic. So if we have two scales, one end is alkaline and one end is acidic. Because of the standard American diet, there's a lot of food consumption, which is highly acidic. So we're heavy on the acid side of things. We're very light on the alkaline things, because it's a lot sexier in the media to market a burger and fries, hello for acidity, than it is kale and spinach, right? We don't see advertisements for that, and people don't tend to crave that. So what we look to do is increase the amount of alkalized foods that we're consuming so that the scales aren't so heavily tipped. So we start bringing our system back towards this state of where it's supposed to be at its own natural pH level, okay? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, right? Okay, then the next aspect. So already I've covered where people are deficient: vegetables, okay, particular green ones, probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes, antioxidants, and B12. We've got that covered in our first 15 minutes of our morning. Bang, done. The next area people are deficient is in their protein consumption. And the more active we are, the more likely to be deficient. Something that can also be an issue is, how many of you guys, if I can see you, watch the documentary Game Changers? Okay, so Game Changers is a very popular documentary right now, and it's getting all kinds of buzz. And what is it about? Technically, it's about teaching us that vegans can be high-level athletes and not run any higher risk of injury than meat eaters, okay? So 15, 16 years ago when I was becoming vegetarian, nobody knew what a vegan was. Nobody knew what a vegetarian was. All of Arbonne's products have been vegan since day one, which is 40 years ago in 2020, okay? So the company has been vegan. Every single product is vegan, okay? Now, what's really cool or interesting is that a lot of people today are interested in trying vegan diets, or at least trying what I call like a meatless Monday, right? People are more interested in looking at, how would I feel if I maybe decreased my meat consumption a little bit and ate a few more plant-based meals, okay? So a lot of people are experimenting, but they might not have the education or the wherewithal to understand, how do I get my protein supplement efficient enough to have a healthy, balanced vegetarian or vegan diet? So enter a supplement, okay? This is an easy way to add in, with a protein source, to add in solid protein throughout your day, anytime, while you're being educated in a group like ours on how to actually prepare really healthy, balanced plant-based meals as an option, but you can still have meat-based meals, okay? We're not trying to turn anybody into a vegan. You don't have to be vegan in the group. But if you want to explore more plant-based meals, it's an awesome opportunity because our recipes are wicked. So it's a really, really great opportunity. So why would we want to have a plant-based protein? Okay, so a lot of the time one of the most common sensitivities people have is actually dairy. So if people are struggling with digesting dairy because their system is weak, then we want to look at, let's strengthen that system back up, but maybe give you something that's a little less tough to digest. So a lot of proteins are based in whey protein. That comes from dairy, and it can be difficult for people to digest. They'll notice things like bloating, gas. They'll feel like they're 6 months pregnant after they have a protein shake made with whey. Not everybody, but several people. So pea, rice, and cranberry protein are much easier for the system to digest. And that's exactly what Arbonne's protein is. So you get 20 grams of protein in every serving, a full amino acid profile, which is key for people that are following a vegan diet. Very difficult to get a full amino acid profile if you're not consuming animal products. So good thing you can get it in here and you've got your full amino acid complex already. Plus, it's like you're getting a multivitamin. That's another of the items that people are deficient in, is their micronutrients. People are very focused on their macros, getting their fat, carbs, and protein, and we hear all the buzz around that. But our micronutrients are the things like our vitamins and minerals that we also need, and we want to make sure we're on top of. And we have 26 vitamins and minerals in this protein shake. So you're getting vegan, easy to digest protein, 26 vitamins and minerals in there, plus a full amino acid profile. Pretty top notch. So you're getting all that covered right there. Now, while I'm holding this up, I want to point something out to you. See what it says on the top of this bag? Arbonne Essentials. Because these are the essentials. These are the essential products and supplements and aspects of our diet that people are lacked in. We don't have them. We're not getting enough protein. We're not getting enough fruits and vegetables. We're not getting our pre and probiotics and our digestive enzymes. So if we can add in something to cover off where we've been lacking, this program 100% meets that need, okay? Then we have 2 other items that you can choose from. You could choose a daily fiber boost or a body cleanse product. Both of these are fantastic. You're gonna have to choose based on what your personal preference is. So here's what I tell people. If you have a history of heart disease in your family, or a history of colon cancer, or a lot of digestive eliminatory health issues in your family, I might suggest you go with the fiber supplement to support good colon and good heart health. Okay, it'll also keep you fuller longer, really fantastic. So if that's you, choose that. If you're someone who maybe tends to work out a lot, and maybe you carry a lot of muscle tension, maybe you struggle with restless leg syndrome, or it's difficult for you to get to sleep at night, or you have a lot of heat in your system, like heartburn, acid reflux, I'm going to suggest you go with Body Cleanse. Why? Because the magnesium is going to help as an overall relaxant. It helps me with post-exercise muscle soreness. And it's also really good if you're someone who struggles with the leg cramps at night or restless leg, any of that stuff where there's tension held in the nervous system and the muscles. So magnesium is excellent for that. And then the aloe and the choline are excellent for supporting that excess heat in the body, especially the aloe. It's very, very cooling. So if you're a hot person and you carry tension, maybe go with this. So talk to your consultant, whoever got you on here, around which one of those might be better for you. But you've got a choice. Either way, you can't go wrong, okay? They're awesome. So going back to that essentials idea, if you think about what is essential in our life, we know what we need. We need water, we need fresh air, we need sleep, we need exercise, and we need nutrition. So if we can cover the nutrition with this kit, you are getting your coffee replaced in the morning, you're getting your breakfast replaced with a shake or a protein pancake or something of that nature. A protein is what I call it, oatmeal made with your protein and other goodies in it. So we can use our protein supplement to make a breakfast for you. You're actually saving in your grocery costs because you're not having to purchase the breakfast items like you would. You're not buying the coffee, you're not going to Starbucks, you're not going to Tim Hortons, wherever you are. You're replacing it with our tea and our fizz and feeling better for it. So you're saving money on your regular weekly expenses there of your grocery bill, okay? Plus you're adding health, you're up leveling your weekly diet right off the bat. Then you're adding in all the extras. So remember those 5 coaches that are going to be offering their advice and their information? You've got all that, exercise programs, yoga practices, meditation practices, tons of recipes. This is not a 30-day fix. This is a 30-day kickstart, getting you into having amazing practices that are going to move you forward into the healthiest lifestyle possible in this next decade. Like, think about a decade. Where were you 10 years ago? Your life probably looks really different than it did 10 years ago. And then where do you want your life to be in 10 years from now? Because that is your choice. Every single thing that you do, every moment, determines where you're going to be 10 years from now. And I know you don't want to be 10 years down the road saying, I wish 10 years ago I had made some lifestyle changes and had a bunch of professional people there to help me and support me and coach me through it. I know you don't want to be that person. What I know you want to be is the person who's feeling healthier, fitter, more vibrant, more lively, and having less and less sick time, less of the low energy days, less of the pain. Now, Arbonne doesn't try to make promises, neither do I, that you're going to be never get sick again or anything like that. But I can tell you from my own experience and what I've seen happen with so many people over the years, everybody feels different. And everybody's experience of different is different because we're all coming into this at a different state. So for some people, their energy goes through the roof. For some people, they get their sex drive back. For some people, they get their hot flashes to stop and they maybe reduce their medications of progesterone and estrogen, all under medical guidance, please. For some people, their joint pain goes away. They can get back to exercise. They can be more lively and vibrant with their grandkids or getting out skiing in the winter where maybe last year you couldn't ski. It's quality of life improvement is what I'm talking about, okay? And I know personally my mission, I'm 46, so I'm going to be 56 in 10 years' time. And I know when I'm 56, I want to be even more active than I am today. I want to be stronger and healthier than I am today. I don't want to be 56 and weaker. I want to be better, stronger, healthier, better for every decision I've made. And then at 66, I want to be stronger again. I want every decade to be constantly improving. So my quality of life always goes up. And the only way that you can do that is by making changes to your diet and your lifestyle. And the good news is they're both 100% in your control. And when we know better, we do better. So I'm all about empowering people and educating people. And if we can get education and get knowledge under our belt, I'm telling you, this program gives you a toolkit like no other. It supports your system, but gives you the power in your own hands to make the changes to help you live your absolute best life. So all that, then there's more. Okay, so what's the more? Right now, for a limited time, you can actually also get a really cool gym bag that, of course, you're going to be using because you're going to start going to the gym and doing Chris's workouts. So you're going to get a really awesome gym bag, branded from Arbonne. It's beautiful. And you're going to get an RE9 skincare cleanser. This is one of our top selling products. It's amazing. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Who cares? I know men who use the RE9 cleanser, whether it's the men's one or the women's one. Doesn't matter. Everyone loves this cleanser. You're going to get that absolutely free, the gym bag absolutely free. You're going to get free shipping. If you are just new to becoming a preferred client, you're also going to get to select an extra product of your choice. That's nuts. So you're already getting a bag and a cleanser plus another product and shipping and all the coaches for free. Crazy. I know. Who'd have thought? Then if you decide to jump in and take on this business, like many of us have, then you're going to get an extra awesome product, which is called metabolism support. And in Ayurveda, I call it fire starter because it's just one more thing to kick up your body's metabolic rate. It's not a fat burner. It's not some crazy thing that's going to give you whacked out heart rate or anything like that. It's something that's actually helping your own thermogenesis, how your body breaks down food. So it helps us break down the tough things like carbs and fats and proteins at a more efficient level. So it takes less energy of our body to do it. Pretty awesome. So if you join us and become a consultant, then you're going to get that thrown in for free this month too. So if you love free things and you love all the things that are in this program and you want to be the person who's getting everything just like the top athletes, getting all the supplementation that you need to add into your day, then why don't you do this? Seriously, 30 days. This kickstarts you into a lifestyle. This starts you on the best path possible. So I encourage you to reach out to whoever got you on here because like I said before, they care. They're excited about it. I know they're going to be doing it. If, you know, they're going to be jumping in and doing this program. If they're not, they're crazy because to miss out on this opportunity to have all these coaches offering their information, to not have that opportunity in your hands, it's ridiculous. I can't imagine turning that down. So there are different price points based on the country that you're in. So I won't even go through the price points here because it's just too much information. So wherever you're at, that Arbonne's at, just reach out to that person and they'll make sure you know exactly what it is that you are investing. But let me tell you, you're getting over $1,200 in free products. Between the coaches and all the freebies, it's absolutely ridiculous what you're getting for free. And I'm just going to put a little plug in here. This is my one last thing, okay? You guys have been so patient. The one last thing that people are missing in their daily diet is omega-3, okay? Omega-3 is super important, and you've probably seen in your pharmacies and places like that, supplements that are combinations of a 3-6-9 or an omega-3 and 6. I'm going to make a suggestion that you not get that one. Not because it's a brand, but I'm going to suggest that if anything, you just get a straight omega-3. And here's why. If you look at omega-3 and omega-6, they're both fats, and they're both fats that we need. But just like we tend to be very heavy on the acid scale and very light on the alkaline scale, we tend to be very heavy on the omega-6 scale and very light on the omega-3. What the problem is with that is omega-6 is a pro-inflammatory pathway promoter, okay? So it opens up pathways of inflammation in the body. Inflammation is good. It means your body heals itself. Chronic inflammation is not good. Okay, so when we get stuck in a cycle of inflammatory issues, that's a problem. So what's so magical about omega-3 that we're very deficient in? It's the anti-inflammatory pathway promoter. So the more omega-3 we get into our daily diet or by supplementation, then we have better chances of evening out our levels of omega-3 and 6, so we don't have a chronic state of inflammation happening in our body, okay? So if you wanted to get something to top up your package, because you're already getting a steal for the package, if you wanted to get something to top it up and really max out your benefit, then I'm gonna suggest you add in our omega-3, okay? This is a fantastic vegan formulation of omega-3. If you're eating wild-caught salmon all the time and getting a lot of fish oil in your diet, then you might be just fine, perhaps, with your omega-3, maybe. If you're eating farmed salmon, I would challenge that, okay? And if you're vegan or vegetarian and you don't eat fish, then I'm definitely gonna recommend you get this, okay? So this is a combination of omega-3 sourced from flax, a bit of walnut, and algae, okay? All vegan sources, and really, really, really crucial to making sure you keep that anti-inflammatory pathway going, okay? So if you wanna add a top in or a top up, I'm gonna suggest that for sure, okay? So those are all the things that I learned in my nutrition coaching, which solidified Arbonne's 30-day program. All of the things that people are deficient in are all of the things that we offer in this 30-day program. That blew my mind and just pumped me up and gave me so much validation around what I'm offering. And I feel so confident in telling every single person on here, like scream from the rooftops, that you need to be getting this in your daily life. Renee's question, when would be the best time to take the omega-3? Really, in all honesty, whenever you can remember. Okay, because a lot of people are not used to taking pills, so whatever is gonna work best for you. It's water soluble, so take it with a meal and you're good to go. So sometimes I'm lunchtime, sometimes I'm breakfast time. If I'm taking other supplements, like if I was gonna take the metabolism support, I would take them at 2 separate times. So I might take the metabolism support before my heaviest meal of the day. And I might take the omega-3 at a different meal, a different time of the day, just so I'm not inundating my system with a whole bunch of things, okay, all at one time. So yeah, so that's all I wanted to share with you guys. All seems like a lot, but there's just so much. I could talk for hours about this. This is a problem I have, but it's about what can it offer you in terms of moving your health forward. And I'm telling you, we're talking exercise, we're talking tips around your mindset and your mental health. We have strategies around meditation and yoga, strategies around how to shift your focus of your energy and clear things that you don't need in your life holding you back. There couldn't possibly be a more well-rounded approach to starting a new year and a new decade. So definitely have those conversations with whoever got you on here. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to stop the recording now and just open this up in case anybody has any other questions.